and welcome back to Mapping Top Gear. We are looking at episode 5 of season 1 now, and we are going to be leaving the United Kingdom. We'll be going into Europe in this episode. So let's get right into it.
If you could just pop my briefcase in the car for me. Thank you. Dial name.
The name, please.
Willman.
Willman.
Dialing.
This is the producer of the show. We can just ring him up. I don't need to take my hands off the wheel or anything. Probably be in the ivy, having peach and peacock.
Just getting in the car park.
You probably already know this, but that is the same Mr. Willman from all the way into the Grand Tour. Andy Willman was the producer and always stayed with Top Gear while the boys were there, and then went to the Grand Tour. And I think now he even directs, or at least produces, Clarkson's farm as well. So he's basically stuck with them their entire careers.
Can I call you in 2 seconds when I get in the office?
There you go, you see? Doesn't even want to talk to me. This one repeats the last instruction from the satellite navigation. This one steers you round tailbacks that are ahead of you. This one brings up a map of where you are.
Oh. Go back.
And tailbacks that are ahead of you. This one brings up a map.
Oh my goodness. We are given the exact location where he is. All right, let's look this up. He has been, it's now dark in this little bit because whenever he started it was, midday, and so he hasn't even moved the car. He's just been playing around with the gadgets in the S-Class. And we finally are basically given exact coordinates. So I'm going to plug these in and see if we can find where this hotel is or whatever that building was. Look. Lucknam. Restaurant. Wait, hang on. What is this name? That was the name of the restaurant. Lucknam Park Emblems Collection. Okay. Lucknam Park Emblems Collection. So this is north of Bath. So this is east of Bristol. And it looks like quite a very nice... Man, my goodness. How chic. So he is starting out at this nice hotel called Lucknam Park.
It's gone dark. When did that happen? But I did eventually get this going, and I took it to the one place where it absolutely shines.
So he does finally get it going. I have already looked this up and tried to find exactly where he's driving around, and I think I found it, but we'll take a second look.
I simply pull into the middle lane. Truck's no longer there. It recognises that, and we're speeding up again.
Follow the road. Don't go further
yes.
instructions.
This is what
So
I
if you
used.
think about it.
Follow the road.
Okay, so we get a map specifically of where he's at. And I previously was playing around on Google Maps, and I believe I found this exact location. Let's bring it up, though. Okay, so he is currently on the M4 going east. And actually let me move this back so you can see. Okay, so we're looking for where the M4 kind of comes around here, and there is some little town that's got a little tiny round road. And after playing around with this and looking, I believe I've found this little area. This is Acton Turville. And he, according to this GPS, is right around here. So if we zoom in, this is about where he was driving. And I'm going to just count this as he drove from that hotel, from the Lucknam Park Hotel, all the way to this little area, because I believe this confirms it. Look, there's a road right here, that kind of comes around here, gets close, but then veers off. And it looks exactly like this. I think this is the better one. And even more evidence, though, is the A420 being over here towards the right of where we're looking, but it's technically south of where we are in the M4. And if we come over here, the A420 is right there. So I think this pretty much confirms it. I'm just going to use the coordinates that Google Maps gives us right here, and we'll put that as the next spot.
What am I for? I know this costs £85,000, but...
And so that's basically where it ends, at least for the S-Class. So we can go ahead and add this to our map. Okay, so this is theoretically the route that he took. So he started here at this Lucknam Park Hotel. And then there's a decent amount of driving, but he eventually can get out here to the M4. And of course, when he ends, he's going this way, not this way, and this has an ending there. So I would imagine he came back out to the M4 and just drove it around to kind of road test it. But there's lots of little roads around here, so again, this is like not the official route that he took. There's no way of knowing that because in the film, he's at the hotel, and then the next bit is him on, I guess, the M4. So there's no way of knowing exactly the route. So we're gonna have it like this. But since we do have two specific points that we can pinpoint on Google Earth, we're just gonna make it this route, and we'll call it there. So we'll add in the Mercedes class in here.
They think there's a chink in its armour, and they've slipped in there with their rival for it, the A8. It seems to be the same as the Mercedes. Quite a lot cheaper at around £60,000, but still big, imposing.
Very quickly, he did have the Mercedes in shot for a split second there. So look, here's the Mercedes. It was a black Mercedes, and then the A8 comes by. So this segment that he filmed must have been split up into 3 different segments on the final edit.
So it's better than the Merc?
No. Not even slightly.
So we never get a very good idea of where he is driving through. We do have that one shot where the Mercedes is in frame and then the Audi goes by. So I think what we're going to do is we're just going to say this whole segment was the S-Class versus an Audi A8 and just add it in with that same category. Okay, so there we go. S-Class and the A8. We'll move on to the next segment.
It's the Peugeot 206. So we know that you want to buy one. Let's show you how to. Hard to see why the 206...
Another Dawe bit, which I've mentioned this in a previous episode. Dawe, like his whole thing in his appearances in the first season revolve around getting people good deals on cars. And like in a lot of the episodes, maybe in every episode, he does like a market review where he goes through cars that are cheaper than normal, or are cars that you can maybe even get a pretty good deal as far as selling them back to the dealerships, and you can get a lot of money for. Credit where credit's due. It's actually pretty interesting information. Well, it would have been interesting information for the times. But he didn't do a lot of road tests. I don't think he did any power tests in the first season. So this is one of his only road tests here. And this is a Peugeot 206.
To make anyone who drives it feel a bit special, which is quite a...
Well, okay, so I watched this whole segment, and he never explains where he is, although this screen right here is probably something that AI could help me with, so I'm going to use AI. I'm going to cheat again. Is it cheating? I don't know. I'm going to use AI again and see if I can find this this little corner here. All right, so AI has bailed us out yet again, but I believe I found this. Okay, so we're at a corner here. This town is, what is this? This is Woodstock in the UK. And we're going to zoom in specifically at this corner of Park Street and Rectory Lane. Let's go right there. And so we're looking for this corner right here. We've got kind of a brown building with a white sign with, I can't actually read what this says. And there's a sign here, there's no sign here, but this sign I think pretty much confirms it. We've got same window here. What else is different? The plants here have changed. All the signs are gone except for this one. Interesting. What does this say? Views and I don't know what that says. I don't know what that says. It says views. So what is this actually? Okay, maybe it's not a business or anything. Okay, but anyways, I believe this this confirms it. This corner right here. So what we'll probably do is just credit him being in Woodstock, England for this this whole segment, because all he really does, he doesn't power test the Peugeot. He just basically drives around the city. So we'll add that in. Which, by the way, it's interesting to me. So, the Top Gear test track is right here. Like, it's very clear that they go all around for these reviews. Like, I know in, well, okay, I have an issue in a previous episode. I need to go back and refill in some stuff. Like, my markings here near cows in this island are gone, so I need to go back and make some changes. But I mean, look at this. Like, the Top Gear test track is here. They could easily have just tested everything in the Top Gear test track, but season 1, they're going all over the place to test these cars. I don't know if it had something to do with the contracts or what, was it just an excuse for them to get out and travel all over the country and eventually the world? I mean, who knows? But like, yeah, they're going all over the place to test these cars. And of course, we all know in later seasons, you know, they go all over the world. But even just in season 1, they're going all over the country just to test these cars. You would almost expect them to just stay here. I mean, because this is their home base. This is where their offices are. This is where they have to. This is obviously where they filmed the power tests, or at least most of the power tests. So it's very interesting that they, like, even season 1, maybe they just got a decent budget and they were able to go out and, you know, test cars, road test cars, and not have to stay close. Maybe it was just an excuse for them to, you know, have a day at the office was either going to be down here at the Top Gear test track, or maybe they would go somewhere else. Or maybe they would go to Wales just for the day, just to test a car. I mean, maybe that was just their excuse. But yeah, it's very interesting to see that even in season 1, they're traveling around a decent amount. I honestly thought season 1 it was just going to be mostly dots around here. I knew there would be some dots around. You know, like I knew that they go to Germany at one point, which we'll look at that in a second, but I thought it was mostly going to be dots around here, but it's actually pretty spread around so far. So the star in the reasonably priced car for this episode is Jonathan Ross, who does just about the most ridiculous hammerhead turn I've ever seen.
You look ridiculous!
I look like a Star Trek flag.
I don't know if he just didn't see the lines there or something, but I feel like I've never seen anybody take the hammerhead turn like that.
Who'd like to see some of the practices that he had? Let's just have a look at that, shall we?
Cool as a cucumber. Well, that was fun. Curiously, I appear to have stalled.
Ooh, another one.
Here we go again. I thought it might be faster. You see, a car like this likes a bit of off-road action.
This costs £281,380. But before you rush out to buy one, I went to Germany to try it out for you.
All right, we're in Germany. We know that much. But I remember this was my introduction to one of the most ridiculous cars ever created. Well, the Maybach. I mean, this thing is just looks so ridiculous. I mean, clearly it's a backseat car, but yeah. I remember watching this the first time, and I remember thinking like, wow, this is basically a personal limousine. Like, this Maybach is ridiculous.
But then they were mostly taken up with bonnet, with a tiny little cabin bolted onto the back. The interior space was actually pretty potent.
Okay, so he actually stops here. He hasn't driven the car yet, by the way. He actually stops the car. Well, I should say his driver stops the car. And we are somewhere in Germany. Now, I had to utilize AI again here, but I think I found this same location. It took a while. It took a while to kind of figure out exactly where this is, and I'll show you. Okay, we're in Hamburg, and I'm looking for this specific area. It looks pretty downtownish, but it also looks like it's right where canals are. And if you zoom in here, there are actually a lot of different places that have canals. So I just spent about 5-10 minutes trying to find this exact location where there is a building back here, but a bridge kind of diagonally, but directly behind where he is standing with his Maybach. There's a bridge, but there's also another building back here. Oh, wait a minute. I think I found it. Let me try this. Ooh, is that? We've got bridge structure right here, a bridge here. And then this building, it looks pretty similar. Oh, look at this right here. Look at this little jut out part of the bridge. Same right there. I think this is it. What about over here? Yep. Arched windows. 1, 2, and then, what is that? Gutter. So 1, 2, and then the gutter. Yep. I think. What about the fence? Oh, yeah, the fence is the exact same. Yeah, this is definitely it. So let me see if I can scoot back a little bit. So yeah, Hammond had the Maybach about, I guess, right here. So that matches up with this. So we'll use these coordinates, and he doesn't really drive to another location.
62 stands for 6.2 metres long, and they must expect customers to be as tall as their wish.
Such a ridiculous
though the chauffeur
backseat.
is hardly left perched on a packing crate. Oh, yes, and at the front.
Well,
This
that kind of
is the
confirmed
world's
it.
most, and they must expect customers to be as tall as their.
We get a little glimpse of the GPS there. I can barely make out that says Hamburg, and it looks like we're right there in the middle of downtown, which, again, that's where I'm seeing this. I mean, let me make this north up. We're in the middle of Hamburg. Right there, like right in the area that has that has the canals. So I think it's pretty good evidence that that's where we're at. Now, again, at the beginning, he's driving somewhere on, I guess it's an Autobahn because he goes his driver goes pretty fast, but there's not really any way that we can find out where exactly he's driving from. So I'm probably just going to credit Hamburg, and I'll probably put that pinpoint right there where we saw him park the Maybach.
0.4 seconds. That's thanks to a 5.
So he does actually get to drive it. I forgot that he did drive it. I thought he was just driven around in it. But again, he's back in the canals. So I'm just going to give credit to the canals, that little area in Hamburg, and call it for this segment.
This is the first one in the UK, so please get in, climb in, have a look around.
So he says this is the first one that came to the United Kingdom. So Maybach must have been very, very new at this point. I mean, I knew they were new, but I didn't know they were that new. It's so rare to see a Maybach, by the way. I'm trying to think if I've ever even seen one on the road. Maybe I've seen one or two, but I've not seen a 62. This one's very rare. So they don't power to, or I guess I should say Stig does not do a power lap in the Maybach. I mean, that would be pretty ridiculous. I don't think it would actually be that. I mean, it is a fast car, but it's not a fast accelerating car. And who knows how well it handles, if it even handles well at all. So I will go ahead and add that to the map. And there we go. We got our first dot outside of the British Isles. So we will kind of zoom out. Again, I have to go back and correct some stuff on the previous episode. So that will show up in future episodes going forward, I promise. But we have our first dot outside of the Isles. And look, we're in Germany. So yeah, again, like they were doing some traveling during this show, even during season 1, when nobody knew what would come of this show. I mean, you can see interviews of them talking about how they thought that the show was going to go like maybe 1, 2, 3 seasons and then just be done. I mean, little did they know what would actually come of the show, but even in season 1, like they're traveling all over the place to film these segments. So the last segment is Clarkson power testing a Bentley Arnage T, but he does it at the Top Gear test track, which we already have. And you can always tell it's Top Gear test track whenever you see these lines, and then sometimes it has the X's that where the camera's following the car, it'll go over. Usually if it has the lines, you can tell it's the Top Gear. There's the X right there. We just passed over the X. I'll show you one more time. This is a pretty hard tell that it's the Top Gear test track. Whenever you see those lines, and then there's an X right there. So, yeah, that will finish that. Of course, we already have the Top Gear test track in our map here. That was the first thing we added. And actually, we can zoom in. Let's see if we still see. Do we still see the X's here? There's an X. There's an X. Of course, they're more faded now. And they actually don't cross. Oh, no, they do cross an X. I thought I was going to say for a second there that they don't cross an X whenever they do a power lap. Oh, no, never mind. Yeah, there's an X there. There's an X there. Which, by the way, I'm not a huge airplane nerd or anything. I would like to learn how to fly an airplane one day. That's kind of a goal of mine. But I do know a little bit about like airstrips and airplanes, and I believe that when an airstrip goes out of commission, by law they have to put these X's over it, because a lot of the airstrips that used to be used back in the military times, or airstrips that used to be commercially used but that aren't anymore, they have these X's on them, and I guess that's just a regulation thing, so that people know, or well, pilots know, that maybe that it's being used for things other than just an airstrip, or maybe they would be able to land there emergent, like if there's an emergency. But yeah, I'm pretty sure that when it goes out of commission, they always have to put those X's there. Anyways, that's going to do it for this episode. For the next one, we should have everything that happens in that episode, plus the previous edits that I need to go back and make in here. So we'll see even more lines and more dots, and we'll just kind of keep building on this. Anyways, thanks for watching. Take care. Good night.